And we now have joining us live in studio Dr. Stanley Paul, the principal of the University of Excellence Management and Business. And we also have joining us this morning Mrs. Jillian Burton Passad, and she's here in her capacity as the Student Guild President of the U.E.M.B. Good morning, folks. How are you doing this morning? Happy New Year once again.
Happy New Year to you, and good morning to all of the listeners and all across Guyana.
And welcome to 94 number 1, and welcome back to Jumpstart. You can just turn the microphone a bit to you, Dr. Paul. It's good to have you back this morning. Last week you were here and you spoke a lot about many of the programs being offered by the University of Excellence Management and Business. What has been the response so far?
Well, the response has been excellent. So much so that I'm encouraged. Yeah, the response has been excellent, so much so that I'm encouraged to continue to come on a regular basis. This morning I would like to look at, I'd like to discuss about the President's recent announcement of education allowance and the Ministry of Education streamlining and simplifying of accessing that education allowance. U.E.M.B has a bachelor's and master's degree in education management and leadership that I believe would be able to enable, equip, and empower teachers to access that education allowance. So before I begin the discussion on the details of U.E.M.B bachelor's and master's program, I want to point out that the University of Guyana bachelor's degree in education as well as U.E.M.B BBA in education management and leadership is not in competition with each other, but complement each other in the sense that UG bachelor's degree in education focuses on the pedagogy of education. That is the method, theory and practice of learning. Whereas our bachelor's degree in business administration focuses on the administration, management, business and leadership of education. So they're not in conflict with each other. So,
but with your classes being online mostly, generally, the advantage might be there more for teachers in that area because after school they can still do their classes.
Well, yes, yes. In that regard, the advantage will be more in terms of influencing teachers to do our bachelor's degree in business administration, management, and leadership, as opposed to the UG bachelor's degree in education. But I think it's all, I think that decision would be predicated on the respective teachers' career goal, whether if they want to specialize or whether if they want to focus on progression. Because if you want to progress, I think the ministry point out that there's a circular, I have a copy of it, where the Ministry of Education point out that persons who have recently graduated from CPC are eligible to and should be appointed, I think, to assistant mistress and so forth. In my humble opinion, there's like a supervisory and probationary role. So then you need the qualification now in that deals with the management, business, the leadership of education. So that's where our qualification comes in. And I would like at this time to point out the content of our bachelor's degree as well as master's, so that teachers can be convinced how our qualification align with their career goal. For example, the bachelor's degree program content begins with composition English 1, computer application 1, college mathematics, psychology, microeconomics. That's the first semester. Second semester is macroeconomics, business communication, composition 2, world history, elective, principle of accounting. The third semester is finite math, international economic relations, business law, principle of marketing, ethics and social responsibility. Fourth semester, leadership, statistic, research and writing, principle of management, principle of finance. Fifth semester, organizational behavior, computer application 2, principle of project management, business and society, elective, international business. Now, persons who would be applying with the CPC associate degree would be exempted from all these courses, and would have to, they would start from the human resources management, entrepreneurship, operational management, management accounting, intro environmental science, leadership and management in education, performance management in organization, leadership in transformational change, education management and leadership, technique and negotiations. Then we would go on to the...
It's a pretty long list of the courses that they'll be
but
doing.
this
What's
is-
the period of study, though?
2 years.
2 years.
Persons who join in the program with the CPC associate degree will just have to do 2 years. The reason why I went through the pain to point out all of that, because it's a concern for a lot of the teachers based on the feedback we have gotten. They want to be assured that the content, because our qualification is titled as business administration, so they want to be assured that the content is aligned with education. And then I probably could have gone into electives, but you know, it would take long, as you rightfully point out. Then the master's degree, the first semester begins with, well, actually the master's degree is 12 courses, 5 functional courses, namely corporate governance, business law and ethics, external environment of business, business statistics, leadership and organizational behavior. 4 functional courses, management economics, corporate finance and management, knowledge management at the global economy, management information system. And then you go on to the electives, which is 3 courses out of a list of 10. Are we now going to it?
No, I know they can go to the website and they can go through. They can go through all the details across there. But I know you're trying to get more teachers to take advantage
because,
of these
as I
programs
said
and so.
before, based on our experience and feedback, they wanted to know that. And the program is structured. The master's degree program is structured in 3 parts: the graduate certificate in business administration, the graduate diploma, and the exit degree. For persons who have CPC, trained teacher certificate, and the associate degree and senior managerial experience, like I had the department, etc., are eligible to access the master's degree at the graduate certificate level, at the end of which that will be used as entrance qualification into the master's direct. Persons who have already done the associate, like the recently graduated student from CPC with the associate degree, can do the top up with us, can do the top up into the bachelor's degree in business administration program, where they would only have to do 2 years. In terms of the fee structure for the masters, we are prepared, in keeping with the government increase in education allowance and the streamlining by the Ministry of Education, we are prepared to accept persons into the master's program who can pay at this point in time on the condition of deferred payment. That is, when they 12 months after enrolling into the master's program, the payment of 100 US, which is equivalent to the same education allowance increase, they can use that to start paying the tuition fee over the next 3 years.
Okay.
For persons who are interested in joining the bachelor's degree with the associate degree, they would only have to pay like 20,000 a month. But there's no deferred payment for them at this point in time, because their program will last 2 years. In the case of the masters, it's just 1 year.
Okay, so they can get that started soon. And I know this morning you also brought with you Mrs. Jillian Burton Passad. Good morning. How are you doing today?
Good morning, and I'm great.
It's great to have you here, and you've been associated with the university. Tell us about your experience with the university and why you think this would be a right choice for persons looking to further their studies or begin studies in any of those fields we were talking about this morning, education specifically.
Well, right off, I would want to say that for myself, I'm a very proud and content student of the university. I have been hearing about the university, had a bit of interaction with the university in its conception through Dr. Stanley Paul. And I would say it's what we call a university of convenience for the busy professional like myself. You know, you're here, there, and everywhere at any given time. And we know a lot of times persons are discouraged of going to universities because of you have to be that in person.
Yeah.
You know, it's not nice, but sometimes we have to say thanks to COVID for this virtual climate that is there with us now. However, for the busy persons, you can access your courses at any time, and also it gives you, because of the recordings that it have. Let me say that I have to be at an event that will not allow me to be in class, so to speak. I could go when I get home, or the next day, I can go back to the recording and I can go through the entire class, see the lecturer, get all that is there, get my assignments, and get my full understanding of what took place that day, or even 2-3 days, because the recordings are always there. So what it does, it allows me to keep abreast of my studies, keep on top of my studies, without wondering that, you know, or worrying that, you know, I miss classes and I'm not going to be up to speed. It also provides you with lecturers that are par excellence. They make you feel comfortable. You know, you have persons coming into the program and they're shy, they don't want to participate. You get that encouragement to speak, that you know, there is no stupid comment. Everything has value and substance, and so you become like a family. And so you're able, it keeps you on top of even global issues, because it is not lectures that are there that are far removed and it's just textbook. The textbook is now placed into actual daily issues that are taking place. So it helps you also to elevate yourself, to become involved and knowledgeable of what is going on globally. So it's really, really good, as I said, for all those persons that are busy. It alleviates the stress of having to ask for time off. And that is why in the MBA program, you have a lot of teachers. They don't need to seek time off anymore from school. You can go,
in the
give your just due to the students, and in the evening, you relax and you do your programs. So I will really, really want to recommend it to persons who will have that issue, and the persons who really need to be on the move and to be able to elevate yourself. The earlier program, Dr. Paul did talk about persons who might not have been, who are given exemptions because of, you know, not have the relevant qualifications that might be required. Great, because you know what, in the public service especially, we had persons who went into the public service with minimal qualifications, but they worked their way through, and their promotions were based on their aptitude to the work and their work performance. They did not get the chance to go to the other level of qualifications. And so now in this age that I called, that it's very competitive, with all our youths coming out and they're doing their B bachelors and their masters and their doctorates, to stay marketable at a certain age, you need to qualify yourself. How do you do it? The entry requirements you might not have. So at this university now, we give you that chance to be able to access based on your age, your experience. You have all the practicals, you know it. You just need a paper to tell you that you're qualified, and it offers that. So it's a university that not only caters for our young people, but it caters for those who are still in the system, who are above a certain age but are not that fully qualified, and for those who want to remain marketable, whether it's in your current system or you want to do it with a private sector.
And that's the important part of that, that they can, you know, do the studies at home quietly.
That's right.
You know, in their spare time. And as we get ready to wrap up, Dr. Paul, quickly, contact numbers for the university and where they can get information from.
I would just like to develop on a point Ms. Borton made in terms of not having, if students interested in pursuing any of our program, they don't have to request permission for leave and so forth. And we also have the 60% scholarship that is no strings attached. You don't have to, there's no condition for you to be eligible for the 60%. Once you apply, you get the approval. We don't ask you to provide back any service or anything. if persons interested in migrating, we're not encouraging person to migrate, but we want to face the reality. If persons applied for the deferred master's degree and interested in migrating, we would still give them the degree for them, and they will pay us. You know, we wouldn't hold on a degree and sell it out. They can't have it because they didn't pay. That would be like a chicken and egg situation. So I just wanted to point that out. Yes, our contact number is 225-1395, 225-1397-9, 681-34-34, 618-34-34. Our office is located at Critchlow Legal College main building, the glass building. And in closing, I would like to remind persons, for the persons who didn't listen to the previous interview, that we are first and only fully accredited, dual accredited institution in Guyana. So if you're interested in pursuing our qualification for the purpose of migrating to Canada, UK, or any Caribbean country, our qualification is the best pick.
All right. And you can also go to the website uemb.edu.gy. That is uemb.edu.gy for more information. Or as you heard, you can call 681-3434, 681-3434 for more details on the University of Excellence Management and Business. You're going to be on Felice's show on Friday, right?
Well, I should be, but I think I'll have to take a ring check on that.
All right, no problem. Thanks a lot for that. Thanks a lot to Mrs. Burton Passad. Have a great day today. Thanks a lot, Dr. Paul.